Hey guys, good afternoon. I hope you're doing well. And today I'm going to be showing you how to configure a named extended access control list and a numbered extended access control list. And what an access control list is it's a list of statements that filter traffic through a router. So if you picture like a bouncer in the front of a club and he's got a clipboard with all the names that are allowed in, and maybe a list of names that aren't allowed in. And you show up and you give them your name, and they decide whether or not you go through or you don't go through. And that's all an access control list is. It just filters traffic. So let's configure it. We're going to go into router 0 and go into global configuration mode, and we're going to type in, we're going to do a named access control list first. We're going to go IP access -list and then extended, and then we're going to put in the name of the access control list, which is EACL. You can put in any name you want. I just like EACL because it stands for extended ACL. It just makes it easier to remember. And now we're in configuration mode for that access list. So now we could start putting in statements. So we could do deny, and then you could do any one of these. You could do EAGRP, ICMP, IP, OSPF, TCP, UDP. We're going to deny traffic, IP traffic. And then the next thing we do is we put in the source IP address. So we're going to put in the source IP address of 1.3, that's PC0. We're going to deny the source IP address of 192.168.1.3. And then you have to put in a wildcard mask, 0.0.0.255. A wildcard mask is the inverse of the subnet mask. So the subnet mask for PC0 is /24, so the inverse of that is 0.0.0.255. And then the next part we put in is the destination IP address, and I'm just going to put any. You could put the IP address, an IP address if you want to filter it by that, but I'm denying PC0 being sent through router 0 to any IP address that's going to be denied. So with an access control list, you want to set your most specific statements first, and then as you go lower and lower, they get more vague. So we got a very specific IP address, or a very specific statement right here, denying IP address from PC0 to any destination. So we could do a permit, and once again you could select from this list of what type of protocol do you want to permit. I'm going to do IP, and I'm going to do any. So I'm going to allow all IP addresses to all source IP addresses to all source destination IP addresses are allowed, unless you're PC0, then you're not. So let's check our work. We're going to do a show access -list, and there's our access list. EACL is the name, and then our two statements. So how do you make a numbered extended access control list? Well, you go into global configuration mode and you type in access -list, and you have to type in a number. 1 to 99 is a standard access list. 100 to 199 is a extended access list. So we're going to do 101. And now we put in our statement. We don't go into access list configuration mode. We put in the statement right away. So we're going to do deny. We're going to do deny IP address 192.168.1.3, and then the wildcard mask, and then the destination address will be any. So there we go. And then we could do the same thing, except we could do permit IP any. So there we go. So let's check our work. Show access list, and there's our two access lists. We have a named access list and we have a numbered access list. So the next thing you need to do is you need to establish the access list on the interface. And you can only establish one access list per interface. So we're going to go into global configuration mode, and then we're going to go into the interface gigabit 0/0/0 of the router, and we're going to establish a access control list, and we can only do one. So we're going to do IP access -group, and then we're going to put in the name EACL, and then inbound. So we're doing inbound because traffic is heading this way. It's heading inbound into gigabit 0/0/0, and that's where it's going to be filtered. It's not going to be filtered at serial 010. It's going to be filtered at gigabit 0/0/0. So inbound. So there we go. That's all set. So yeah, so that is how you configure a named extended access control list and a numbered extended access control list.